Greetings and bright blessings, croeso, and welcome to Magick Soup, a super spiritual, wild, weird, and sometimes extremely witchy podcast hosted by myself, Holly Charles, also known as Holistic Holly, a channel, medium, teacher, facilitator, and guide, assisting those on a journey of spiritual awakening and exploration. I hope you enjoy the insights and information I share from my 20 plus years experience in the field. I simply ask that you listen with an open heart and open mind, taking what resonates and leaving what doesn't. Thanks for being here. Diolch yn fawr. Let's dive in.
Hello everyone and welcome to this episode of the Magick Soup podcast. It's so lovely to have you here. It's been a little minute and I just felt really compelled to jump on and record today. It's been long overdue. I've been meaning to do it for ages. And this episode I am calling, Do You Even Meditate, Babe? Because I think it's time for me to dispel a lot of myths and misunderstandings around what meditation is. You know, it is at the core of my work. And, you know, I really truly focus on soul-centered meditation, but there are so many different types of meditation. There are so many different benefits, no matter how deep you're going, whether you're staying just with the physical aspect and the physical benefits of meditation, which we'll go into in a few minutes, or whether you are taking the more soul-centered approach where you are remembering the wholeness of you, the truth of who you really are, that you are a soul with a body, temporarily having a human experience in the physical dimension, or whether, there's even more layers to it, whether you want to be, doing guided visualizations, or whether you want to be, visualizing for manifestation, whether you just want to find peace and stillness, or whether you're, intentionally going in doing healing work or connecting with your ancestors, angels, spirit guides, allies. It is widely said, that prayer is speaking to God, and meditation is getting a response. And so many people pray often, pray when they need something, when they need support, when they need help. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I'm a big advocate for praying to say thank you for the blessings and thank you for the support and the help and the assistance that we receive in our lives. And meditation, can be a powerful part of that practice, to receive a response, to get communication. Now, I know I'm going off topic here for a moment, but, we are all spiritual beings. We are all psychic beings with levels of sensitivity to receiving communication from the non-physical bandwidths of existence that are out there. And, meditation really helps us tune into that and give those beings, if you like, whether you see it as God or the divine or angels or, allies in whatever form that may be, whoever is drawing close to contact you and be close to you and work with you, and giving them the opportunity for that. Now, I know this can, I can imagine, and I feel that I'm saying, this can evoke fear for some people, that they don't want beings to draw close to them. And this is where, safety protocols, protection, ensuring that the vibration that you're emitting is in alignment with those that you want to draw close. Okay, and that's perhaps an episode for another day or something that I will go into in more detail. But meditation gives us that opportunity to tune in with the support network that is around us. And it also gives us the opportunity to fine tune our sensitivities and become more present with the different types of communication that are coming in for us. But again, that's a whole topic for another day. But meditation is and should be, I think, a real priority for anybody who's working on self-mastery, self-improvement, personal development. Um, Anyone who's interested in really like self-regulating and showing up with clarity, showing up with purpose, with intention to show up the best way that they possibly can for others and for themselves. Creating that quiet and calm and centeredness, even, it said, one intentional breath in and out in and of itself is a meditation, albeit, a simple one. But it is re-anchoring, finding our center, finding that pause that we need to stop our emotions taking control of the situation, to stop our thoughts being our intrusive thoughts or thoughts that we have no control over, causing us to think that that is our reality. It helps to keep us in the present moment. So we're not dwelling on the past, we are not worrying about the future, but we are in the now. Very famous book, Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, is caused a huge movement and a change and a shift in consciousness for so many people around being present and being in the now, because the now is all we really truly have. But meditation can help us anchor into ourselves. It gives us the opportunity to check in. One of the first things that I do when I guide meditations, and I guide meditations weekly, sometimes multiple times each week for other people. One of the first things I get people to do is, drop your shoulders down away from your ears, soften the muscles around your eyes and across your forehead. And we don't realize how much tension we are holding until we actually sit and give it our attention. So there are actually, profound physical benefits to meditation, where we can actually start to listen to our body and to find out where there is discomfort. There's so many times that, how many times have you, for example, gone the whole way through the day, and when you get into bed, you're like, oh, wow, I've got a headache. Like, how long have I had a headache for? It's because we're so busy doing that we are not aware of what is going on within our being. So it's important, on that level, to just have a check-in, right? Well, how is your body feeling? And actually it helps us to consciously relax. When we anchor into our breath and slow our breathing down, it gives a signal to our body that we are in a safe space and that we can let go of any anxiety, any stress hormones, any fight or flight hormones that may be in our system. The adrenaline, the cortisol, the noradrenaline, anything that can be suppressing aspects of our body that are not essential for survival in threatening situations. So when we are in a constant state of anxiety or stress, any any the any hormones related to that are within our body will actually cause a suppression of non-essential systems that we need for survival in a fight or flight situation. So this is what's leading to so many digestive issues, so many fertility issues, so many immune system issues. Our immune system actually gets suppressed by a constant state of distress. So taking a few minutes each day to just slow your breathing down and be present with your breath, it gives those signals to the body. Wow, okay, the body's nice and calm, so we must be safe. So we can let go of those stresses, which then helps give the other systems of the body like a kick back in and a restart. And there are so many fertility issues the world is being faced with at the moment, and that is, there's multiple reasons around that, don't get me wrong, but a lot of women over the years within my holistic therapies practice, as well as in my spiritual capacity to give spiritual support and guidance, so many people have come to me distressed about their inability to conceive. And what I seem to have been repeating time and time again is that, look, the more stressed out you get about it, the less likely you are to conceive, because your reproductive organs, your reproductive system is being suppressed by the stress hormones. So starting a regular relaxation practice and going for treatments, like reflexology, for example, is notorious for helping people to conceive, because it helps the systems of the body get back into balance and into harmony, but also it allows deep relaxation if it's not too painful, depending on the reflexologist you go to and the amount of things you have going on in your body. Reflexology can be very relaxing, but also can be very uncomfortable. So it just depends who you're going to and what issues you've got going on with you. But that's beside the point. When women then relax about it and start trusting that, look, or alignment's supposed to, it will happen when it needs to, and focus on their well-being first, that's when these conceptions happen. Like how many stories have you heard, right, about women going through IVF, can't get pregnant, give up, adopt a child, and then as soon as they adopt, they get pregnant. It happens all the time. I know families personally that have fought this IVF battle to conceive babies, and then someone actually in our family conceived with twins, like right after their second IVF baby was born, naturally conceived twins. So, stress has this just really detrimental impact. And so meditation, even just a few minutes every day, just a couple of minutes, and if you've got time to scroll, if you've got time to doom scroll on social media, you've got time for a 5-minute check-in with your breathing, softening the muscles of the face, the shoulders, going into relaxation. Okay. And meditation, it doesn't have to be sitting in the lotus position with your hands in mudras on your knees, chanting, eye rolling to the third eye. It can be a mindful, present walk in nature. It can be a slow, gentle stretch with your breath. Now, there may be some people out there, saying, right, but that isn't true meditation. Meditation to me is whatever you need it to be to help you find stillness. Yes, sitting still, sitting in silence, sitting with your breath, is absolutely powerful. But for some people, not everyone, everyone's a little bit neurospicy these days. Some people need to move, and movement can be meditation as well. So dancing completely absorbed in music in your kitchen, where you're not thinking of anything, just moving your body with the music that takes you and lifts you. That's so powerful. And medicine in itself, dancing and music are medicine in themselves. But it doesn't have to be you sitting still chanting mantras or what have you, but just relaxed breathing in and of itself will have a huge physiological benefit and impact on your body. So that's one of the major reasons to try it. Little meditations more regularly are much more potent and much beneficial for you than one long meditation, sporadically, like once a week or less frequently. Doing short, like 2 minutes, 5 minutes here and there where you can slot it in, soon add up. And the more you do it, the more you connect with your breath and drop into relaxation, the easier you will find it. It strengthens the vagus nerve, which is your ability to drop into that state of relaxation. And it changes your neural pathways in your brain. so that it is easier. It's called a meditation practice because it takes practice. It's not something that you master straight away. Like, you wouldn't expect, to master anything immediately. So it takes practice. It takes time. I've been meditating for over 20 years, and there are some days where I sit to meditate and I just cannot shut my brain up. I just cannot shut off the monkey mind, but I sit anyway, and that's okay. It's absolutely fine, because it is all part of the process. And I think so many people give up at the first hurdle because they can't quiet that monkey mind, in which case starting with guided meditations is always really beneficial. This is not a paid promotion in any way, but I really recommend Insight Timer. It's an app that you can get, and it is free. There's obviously premium versions. It's Insight, Insight, Insight Timer, and there's some really great guided meditations on there. There's even a timer that you can set. You can choose what music you want. You can ask cymbals or singing bowls and gongs to go off every certain amount of time, like as an interval, to bring you back to present. And there's beautiful music on there. So I definitely recommend checking that out as like a free resource that you can use. YouTube is also fantastic. Also, I've got guided meditations on my website and on my YouTube channel and stuff like that for you to check out. So, by all means, you've got to find someone that works for you, that resonates with you, that feels good to listen to. If the voice is irritating to you, you're not going to relax. So that's just try it out. The good thing about Insight Time is that you can literally put in, like, I've got 3 minutes, I've got 10 minutes, I've got an hour, and it will bring you meditations of that length. So if you need a guided one to help clear the monkey mind and stop the mind chatter, that's a really good place to start. So we've talked about the benefits to the body. Now, the benefits to the mind of meditation. It helps us to become self-aware, for a start. It really helps us on that journey of knowing thyself, of decluttering the mind, untangling the thoughts. It helps to give us a sense of perspective on what it is that we're going through, what it is that we're experiencing. It helps to bring to our awareness what thoughts kind of pop in on their own. We have over 10,000 thoughts every single day that happen automatically, just because it's like a program. It's just because they're wired in. It just kind of, it runs in the background. It happens on its own. And so, we don't have to engage in every single one of those thoughts. And we don't have to also believe every single one of those thoughts. Just because we have a thought, it doesn't make it true. And I think that's one of the most powerful revelations that you can have on a healing journey. But learning to kind of sit still and just see what pops in, and then realizing, okay, well, I'm not going to give that energy. I'm just going to breathe that away and just sit with it and see what else comes up. And, it can bring things to your awareness if meditating with a particular purpose in mind. That can help with shadow work, clearing and understanding why you get triggered, and the seed, the root of a lot of our pre-programmed behavior. So it helps us to understand ourselves. It helps us to kind of see clarity in situations that may be a bit foggy. It helps us to gain a different perspective on things that we might be struggling through. And it helps us to just be responsive as opposed to reactive when we are facing struggles or challenges or triggers or dealing with other people that are triggered. So it really helps to calm the mind, so we can take the reins again, so we can be in the driver's seat again, and not letting these rogue thoughts or these emotions that we may be feeling make us be the decision makers in our lives, if that makes sense. And it helps us again to be intentional with our thoughts, rather than being the one that's like the victim of the thoughts and the programming and the limiting beliefs and everything like that we often inherit from outside of ourselves. And actually, it allows us to, right, well, we are going to curate what's going on in this house. We're going to curate what we allow to give ourselves attention to, what we give focus to, and we're going to take the power back in that regard. So that it really helps us to get a handle on what we give energy to, what we believe, and it helps us reprogram for the better with intention. Working with mantras during affirmation and affirmation, working with mantras and affirmations during meditation can really be a very empowering thing. And it helps us to focus on the energy that we want to call in. It helps us to stay empowered, perhaps in situations where we feel disempowered. And again, it really helps us stand up and stand tall and be really empowered within our mind, and then out into the world. It ripples out. And when we have this sense of calm and poise and this level of contentment within ourselves, or just this stillness and calm within ourselves, that energy radiates from us and has a positive impact and influence on the people that are around us. Okay, energy is infectious. And there's an incredible book written by David Hamilton. He's written loads of incredible books. I have a huge number of his books, but the one that I was going to actually mention here is The Contagious Power of Thinking, and how an idea, once it is like established in like a person, it radiates out not only through their friend network and family network, but actually to people outside of their direct and immediate network of people as well. So there's that aspect of it, but also the fact that, going woo-woo here with this, but, the fact, through the fact that our energy impacts everyone else. Okay. Now, there are so many experiments and things that are being done now, to do with entanglement, quantum entanglement, and how, when photons of light are split and separated in some experiments by 14 miles, when changes are made to one, the effect is immediate on the one that is further away, as if they were the one that was being changed, as if they were the one that was being influenced and manipulated directly. The change is immediate, and it happens because they were once the same photon of light. Okay. Now, there are so many studies that are being done into this. There's so many explanations for this, but the ramifications of this explain so many different things. The fact that we were all once directly connected to each other. I mean, we're directly connected to each other now, but what I mean is, if you think about all the matter in the universe, if you believe in the Big Bang, all the matter in the universe was once connected. The Big Bang happened and threw it all outwards. But we were all connected at one point. So changes that happen within one of us, and we are photons of light, we emit photons of light from our cells. You can observe it under microscopes. When changes happen to us, it immediately causes change to happen in those around us and everyone connected to the collective consciousness. So by working on yourself, raising your frequency during meditation, working on clearing and calming and balancing yourself and your emotions, you are having a positive impact, a ripple effect, if you like. So, there is a quote, forgive me, I can't remember who said it, but, it says like the most powerful thing that you can do for humanity is working on yourself. And so, through meditation, you are having a positive impact. And this is another thing I love about Insight Timer, going back to that app, is that it literally tells you how many people have been on the app that day with a map and little lights all over the world where they were, but it also tells you how many people are on the app at that time to meditate, which is beautiful. And often during my guided meditations, particularly the kind of expansive healing ones, the soul-centered sessions that I do, I often say once we've worked on expanding our light and making our light shine brighter, I ask people to right now imagine and connect with all the people around the world that at the moment are in prayer, in acts of devotion, are meditating themselves, and see their light growing brighter as your light grows brighter, and things along those lines. And it is a really powerful thing. People talk about the tipping point on the earth, right, where everyone reaches a certain level of consciousness. And the more of us that are meditating, the more of us that are raising our light, the sooner that is going to come about. And it helps to kind of balance, the yin and the yang, the light and the dark, with the difficulties and the fear porn and the negative stories going out on the news, and the sad things that are happening in the world at the moment. It helps to elevate the vibration, to help move us away from that and into a more balanced, harmonious world. Sending light to those places, sending love and support to those places through prayer during meditation. So yeah, it's a powerful thing you can do for those around you and for the world. And with that being said, there's a couple of meditations and prayers that are very powerful at assisting those that you love, those that you care for, and others. So one is known as the Metta Healing Prayer, or the loving kindness meditation from Buddhism. And the affirmation is, I am filled with loving kindness. I am peaceful and at ease. I am happy. I am well. I am free from suffering. Okay. And you repeat that, but you do it on a round robin. So you say it first of all for yourself, and then say it for a loved one. So you place I am filled with their name. My mum is filled with loving kindness, my brother is filled with loving kindness, my son is filled with loving kindness. Repeat it in that way. And then you say it for a stranger, I believe, then an acquaintance, and then someone that you're actually having beef with, someone that you find really challenging, that really causes difficulty for you, brings stuff up for you, triggers you. Send them some love and kindness. And then you repeat it in a round robin. But this is proven to be extremely beneficial, not only for your well-being, but the well-being of those around you. Okay, because it is a prayer, but it is also affirming and raising and cultivating that energy and that intention. And this is, yes, it's, as I said, it's from Buddhism, it is a spiritual practice, but a friend of mine is a psychology, what's the word? She's doing a psychology PhD. She's a psychologist in training, or she's a psychologist doing a doctorate at the moment, and she works with her clients with the metta healing, with this love and kindness meditation. And we had a lovely conversation about this before, about the powerful positive impact that this has for the women that she sees, that she works with as a psychologist. So it's backed by science as well, if that's important to you. And another one, the most powerful tool that I've ever come across ever in 20 years of doing this work is Ho'oponopono, which is a Hawaiian spiritual practice known across the world thanks to the work of Dr. Hugh Len and Joe Vitale, and the book Zero Limits. And they teach this Hawaiian prayer, this healing modality, if you like, that doesn't necessarily have to be done in meditation, but it's powerful when you do it in meditation. And it is a cleaning practice. and you repeat the words in any order. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. And it's so simple yet so powerful, and it is like a cleaning meditation. It removes any bad vibes, any lower vibrational frequencies, any thoughts that are anything other than unconditional love. And it cleans and it raises the frequency, and it is a game changer. I believe that it means to make right. The Hawaiian means to make right, and it was used to heal rifts in families traditionally in Hawaii. And it's a powerful, powerful thing. And I'm probably going to do a whole episode on that further down the road, because it is just wildly, wildly powerful. So that can, just going back to the benefits for the mind, it can really be powerful at helping you to clear any unwanted thoughts, clear the monkey mind. If memories or worries or things are coming to your mind that are causing you to squirm and feel uncomfortable. I know many people have given up on meditation practice because of the shadow stuff that comes to their mind that they don't want to sit and face. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but if you want to progress at all along your spiritual path, your healing journey, personal development journey, life in general, you have to sit with the shadow. You have to sit with those things. But if you are looking for a moment of peace and these thoughts start popping into your mind, that they make you uncomfortable, they make you squirm, use Ho'oponopono to help clear the whiteboard, to help, clear the cache, clear the web browser, whatever you want to liken it to. And I'll say it again. It's, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And thank you. You can actually find musical tracks, audio tracks, guided meditations focused on this. So go and check that out. It's beautiful, beautiful, powerful, amazing practice. And it works for you and for those around you. So definitely a really great one to have in your toolkit. So we've talked about the body, we talked about the mind. Now I'm going to talk about the spiritual benefits or impact of meditation. Now I have talked about this already. I've touched on it. About how, sitting in meditation, being present and mindful. Mindfulness is a whole other form of meditation that I kind of touched on, where you just sit fully present to all of your surroundings, listening to your body, listening to the sounds that are happening, feeling the temperature of the room, the feeling of the chair underneath you. What can you smell? What can you hear? What can you feel? All of that, all of those senses, that sensory awareness, being fully, fully present with that. And that is really powerful as well. But from a spiritual perspective, like with the soul center stuff, tuning into your higher self, tuning into your soul self, with intention, you can clear energy, stagnant energy that is accumulated in your energy fields. You can raise your vibrational frequency to allow communication with your guides to become clearer, to help tune in more clearly to your intuition when there isn't all this energetic smog and pollution around you, where you've accumulated other people's emotions, other people's thought forms, perhaps even energy directed towards you, that perhaps if there's people talking shit about you or thinking negative thoughts about you, that is going to have a detrimental effect on your energy field and on your energy. So, with intention during meditation, you can clear anything that isn't yours, clear anything that doesn't belong to you, that may be having a detrimental impact upon your frequency. And you can bring in protection to protect yourself from that, protect yourself from energies that aren't yours, so they aren't bringing your energy down, affecting you mentally and physically. And you can use it as an opportunity to ask questions of source, to ask questions from the divine, to ask for guidance and inspiration, upliftment, empowerment. It gives you that space to be intentional and have conversations with the divine. And it seems so strange to say it so conversationally, because for some people this might be a game-changing revelation that they haven't really realized before, or they haven't really given much credence to it or weight to it, or just given it much thought. But it is a game changer in that regard, and it allows you to hear the voices of the crystals that you work with. Perhaps it allows you to hear the voice of the trees and the plants that you sit with during meditation. It gives you that sense then of connectedness to these beings. I am an animist. I believe that everything has consciousness, everything has a soul in its own way. I believe that we are all intrinsically, inherently connected deeply with nature spirits and the spirits of the plants. If you listen to my previous podcast episode, I grew up in Borneo with, dense, deep rainforest, where the indigenous people believed that the spirits of their ancestors lived in the plants around them. And yes, I believe that is true for the most part. The spirits of our ancestors are all around us, but I believe that, in the same way that the druids, what we believe the druids to know and to believe, and what's been channeled through what we have connected from our past lives as incarnations as druids, and walking the lands. As I say this, I am in Wales, in the UK, in Great Britain. That was a very shamanic culture before Christianity took over. And, the Druids have great reverence for trees and plant life. One of the most sacred places to a Druid are groves and forests connecting with trees. They are the wisdom keepers, the elders. They are our elders that have watched over this land and have so much wisdom to share with us when we tune into them, when we meditate with them. And so meditation really helps to connect us with something that is so much bigger than ourselves, as well as going inward and connecting more deeply with ourselves, as well as the identity of the avatar that we are playing in this incarnation and this round of the game of life on earth, or whether we connect more with our higher self, our soul self, the light being that the human just sits at the center of, the light being that encompasses wisdom from all of our incarnations, that we can tune into for our benefit with intention when we meditate. If that is something that intrigues you and inspires you, if you want to connect more with who you've been in previous incarnations to get a better understanding of yourself, that can take place through meditation. Healing work can be done on a deep, profound level during meditation. If you want to go and give comfort and love and healing to previous versions of yourself. Inner child work, you can do, shamanic practices like soul retrieval and, forgiveness rituals and, healing and clearing parts of our soul that are carrying heavy trauma or deep heavy energy. This can be done through meditation. It is unlimited in its potential, and it is truly a way of us really tapping into our powers, our wisdom, understanding who we are, understanding why we incarnated, to really connect with our purpose as well. So you can do it at whatever level that is suitable for you at this moment in time on your journey, whether it is just helping you to just relax and shake off the day when you get home from work, so you're not carrying the stresses and the things that you've experienced throughout your day into your home life when you get home. If you want to have it just on that level, that's amazing. If you want to use it when you're lying in bed to help you get to sleep at night, doing a body scan to just consciously relax all of your body to help get you ready for sleep, perfect, amazing. Use it at that level. If you want to use it to help you visualize success, visualize yourself achieving your goals, like Olympians do, and really top tier athletes do this, to see themselves doing the difficult things, seeing themselves running faster, jumping higher. Their trainers teach them these techniques, and it's so powerful and it works and it's amazing. So if you want to use it from that level, amazing, explore that. But if you want to use it to clear your energy, to raise your light, to connect you more deeply with your spirituality, that is there for you too. And all it takes is just a little bit of an intention and beginning to cultivate a practice, and it opens doors to worlds that you can only begin to imagine. So if you're not meditating yet, why not? And what is stopping you? I would love to carry on the conversation about this. So come and find me on, any of my social media, platforms. I'd love to have a conversation with you about this, whether you meditate, whether you don't, what's stopping you? Why don't you meditate? Why have you given up on it if you've previously done it? And it's so easy to get out of the habit of it, and that's the thing, like no judgment there. Oh my gosh, like our busy mind is so hardwired to keep busy, literally hardwired. The neural pathways are just busy, 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 busy. It's only when we consciously reprogram them to be comfortable with stillness that we can find that stillness. When we first start to meditate, sometimes the mind sees that as a threat and immediately starts throwing every random thought and thing into our brain to keep it busy, because it is threatened by change. It feels threatened by change. And being still is a big change for a lot of us, right? So my advice to you is just begin. I do host multiple online meditation sessions every month. If you wanted to come and check out those, they start at £3. It's pay what you like, start at £3. I've also got a massive catalogue on my website, as I said, of free sessions, recorded sessions and things that you can tap into. I also have a WhatsApp community, the Holly Grove, if you wanted to come and continue conversations in there about this stuff. It would truly be an honour to have you and welcome you into the Grove. So that's it from me for today. A slightly longer episode than I planned it to be, but I am just riffing. It's all just what was inspired to come out. So I hope you find it beneficial. I hope it inspires you to really tap into this. Just tap into your breath. Remember, one conscious breath in and out, in and of itself, is a meditation. And just tuning into your breath, You have it with you always, wherever you go. So, it only takes a couple of minutes to just close your eyes, tune in with your breath, drop your shoulders down away from your ears, and be present. So I look forward to speaking with you soon, catching you soon, and if I don't speak to you before, I will catch you in the next episode. So much love.
Thank you so much for spending time listening to my podcast. I really, really appreciate you, and I am truly, truly honoured. Remember, as the late, great Bill Hicks once said, don't worry, don't be afraid, ever. Because it's just a ride. You incarnated now for a reason, so go out there and do some epic, magical, main character, spiritual warrior shit. Be brave, face your demons, laugh, love, dance, sing, create, and play at every opportunity, and remember, kindness first, for yourself and others. Wherever in the world you're listening from, and whatever time of day it is, I hope and I pray that the rest of your day is filled with magic. You are divine. Please don't forget to follow and subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you do not miss an episode, because who would want to do that? You can find me on Instagram and YouTube by searching holistic_Holly, or by checking out my website www.hollysholistic.healing.co.uk. And I hope to catch you in the next episode of Magick Soup.